Hola amigos, today we are going to talk about indirect object pronouns, or as your teacher might call them, IOPs. Last chapter, you'll remember we talked about direct object pronouns, or DOPs, and those answered the questions who or what. So if I'm buying the shoes, what am I buying? The shoes. The shoes would be your direct object, or them would be your pronoun. Your IOPs are going to do the same thing. They're going to be pronouns that replace your indirect object. So what's your indirect object, you ask? Your indirect object pronouns answer the question to whom or what, or for whom or what. Are you impressed by my use of whom? It's just like Downton Abbey in here. Now don't freak out here because you actually already know all of these because you already know the verb gustar. Remember last year when we learned how to talk about what we like? All we had to do was take gusta or gustan, that's an S, and add the indirect object pronoun for whoever liked it. So I like is going to be me gusta or me gustan. You like is going to be te gusta or gustan. He or she likes is going to be le gusta or gustan. So if you remember those from last year, you are in really, really, really good shape because they're exactly the same thing. So here we go. To say to or for me, it's may. Wait a second, you're saying that was totally the direct object pronoun as well. It's both. Your life is so easy. To or for you is going to be, you know this one too, it's te, same as the DOPs. But this is where we run into something. It is going to be lay. To him or her, or for him or her. In a story maybe you've heard lay dice, says to him or her. That's where that lay comes from. Here it's going to be nos, to or for us, os for the vosotros, to or for you plural, or down here, this is the other one I want you to really pay attention to, lace is going to be to or for them, or of course to or for you plural if you're using ustedes. So we got me, te, le, nos, os, lace. It's amazing because you actually already know all those words. Of course, once you figure out your indirect object pronoun, the big question is, where does it go? Now you have three options, and you even already know these. You're so smart. Number one, you can put the IOP in front of a conjugated verb. So you see on your sheet, Pilar me va a preparar un sándwich. Pilar is so nice because she's going to make me a sandwich. Your second option is to attach it to an infinitive. I can't fit that. What's an infinitive? It's an unconjugated verb. So where we see Pilar va a preparar me un sándwich, we just take our me. Who's she preparing this? For whom is she preparing the sandwich? Why, she's preparing it for me. I just attached that to the end. You already know that because you did it when you attached it to ando and yendo, which is your third option. You can attach to ando or yendo. Let's pretend like Pilar is already making that sandwich. She's on it. So we're going to say preparando. She's preparing, making. Who is she doing this for? For whom is she doing? She's doing it for me. I take my word me, I put it right there. But of course, you're not going to forget to add an accent to the third from that vowel from the end. 1, 2, 3. That's your accent. Now let's say you want to get more specific than just to him or her or to them. That's not quite clear enough. Well, that is easy to fix. If you take the sentence, le escribo un email, I write an email to him or her. Who are you talking about? It could be anyone. It could be your mom, it could be me, it could be your sister, it could be your friend. So if this is unclear and we want to make it more clear, all we have to do, and this is your next blank, is add a, because that means to, and then the person's name. So if we add, le escribo un email a mi hermana, we know that I'm writing an email to her, but her is my sister. In English, that's repetitive. In Spanish, it's not. In Spanish, it makes perfect sense, and you still need the ley even if you use that mi hermana, mi hermana. So let's have you practice. Next to that le escribo un email, I have an example where it says les escribo un email. Notice it's les and not le. That indicates that you're writing an email to them. I want you to give me 3 examples of who them could be, and I want you to pause it while you do that. So you could have any group of more than one person. So you could say a los estudiantes. I write an email to them, to the students. I could say a los maestros, to the teachers. A mis amigos, to my friends. Anything, as long as it's more than one person, where you'd use them in English is going to be correct. But when I go through and I check this, if I see all my own examples, I'm going to know you didn't really pause it. So if you did that, go back and be an extra good student and add some of your own. Okay, on this next part, I'm asking you to do a couple things. Number 1, I want you to fill in the blank in the sentence with the correct indirect object pronoun. Let's do this first one together. Raúl blank va a buscar el teléfono. So what we're trying to say here is Raúl is going to look for the phone for whom? For me, because that's what an IOP answers. For whom, or for what, or to whom, or to what. So he's looking for that phone for me, which you see at the end with that a me. What's that going to be in Spanish? What's my IOP that goes with a me? You got it. It's me. Raúl me va a buscar el teléfono. Now, below that, you're going to write what that means in English. So, Raúl is going, that's the va, to look for the phone for me. Raúl's so nice. That's kind of him. Okay, the next ones, I'm going to go through, the next 2 actually, I'm going to go through and do the IOP with you, but then I need you to translate it on your own. So, Marta blank va a doblar la ropa. So, she's going to fold the clothes. Who is she folding them for? Look at your parentheses. She's folding them for my mom. What's my for her? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. For her, it's going to be lay. So, Martha is going to fold the clothes for her. You can write that down. I'm not going to write it down for you. The last one I'm going to do with you, and then you're going to pause it and do the other 2 on your own, and I'll check them when I check in your pages. Mi hermano, my brother, is going to prepare food or a meal for my parents. Everyone is so nice in this chapter. Everyone's doing things for other people. So, who is he preparing that food for? He is preparing it for my parents. So he's preparing it for them. Take a look back at your notes. What's my word for them? Why, of course, it's going to be lace. And so then right below you're going to translate it. My brother prepares the meal or prepares the food for them. That them is what I really want you to get. Okay, press pause, do 4 and 5 on your own. Make sure you translate it on the line below because I need you to understand what it means in English too. It's not just some weird hoop I'm making you jump through. When you're done, press play again, and I'm going to give you one more practice. All right, let's go over that last practice. I'll check in that 4 and 5 when I check in your paper. Here's my question. ¿Qué haces en tu casa para ayudar? What do you do in your house to help? You're going to write 4 chores, and you're going to include the person or the people for whom you do those chores. I'm going to give you one example, and you can use my example, but the next 3 have to be your own. So I'm going to tell you, I feed my dog. How generous of me. I don't make him hunt. So I feed my dog. To say I feed, doy, de, comer, a, mi, perro. But this is what I need you to make sure you're adding, because in English that would be fine. I feed my dog. But in Spanish, if there's a to whom or for whom, then I need to add my IOP, my indirect object pronoun. So to whom do I feed? I feed my dog. I give him food. So what goes with my dog? It's like saying, I feed him. It's going to be le. Doy de comer a mi perro. Now you are going to do 2, 3, 4 on your own. You're going to be just like all these people doing nice things for other people. Who do you wash the dishes for? Who do you wash clothes for? Who do you prepare food for? That's what I want to know. And if you don't do any of those things, really consider starting to do them, but also make them up, because I want to see 3 examples, and they have to be about not just what you do, but for whom you do them. I know you can do it. Okay, hasta luego, amigos. Nos vemos.